Hey everybody, welcome back. We're going to be doing some work on the Tormach today. Not cutting anything right now, but am planning on adding some covers to the way covers. Right now, there's just these baffles, they're really thin, kind of flimsy. I really don't like them actually. Baffle covers that are going over the ways to keep them protected. The problem with that I've been finding is the chips get lodged in there, and then as the table is moving back and forth, it's actually like poking holes in these way covers with the chips, and then the chips are getting stuck in there. So I talked to a couple people, and somebody suggested and showed me pictures that they had taken these this rubber neoprene and kind of run it over the top of it. So instead of having the accordion style, you have the accordion underneath, way covers, and then you have this flat neoprene that just kind of folds up, and then will definitely help keep the chips off those way covers. So today we're going to go ahead and add those. Alright, so these are the covers that I'm talking about. So it accordions up, pinches as you open and close, or as the table moves back and forth. So you can see there's like these little chips and stuff, and like this one is actually stuck in there. And yeah, I feel like it's going to wear the cover out really quick, especially like when there's a whole bunch of chips like in one area. And if you home the machine, or you have the table come back forward again after a job is finished, then it just takes all those and crushes them up inside here. So, and overall, it still looks good. It's not completely all messed up, but I'm gonna just add this cover. So basically, it'll attach here. We'll undo these 4 bolts, pull this off, and then put some holes in the actual rubber to attach it there, and it'll come up and then come over, and then I'm gonna have to figure out how to mount it back up underneath here. So figure that out as once we get there. Maybe I'll do something into this, but so yeah, we're gonna add it to here. We'll add it to the back side, and then on the Z-axis. Alright, so here's the rubber mat. Super thin, so nice and flexible. So it won't get all bound up or anything like that. And I got it on Amazon. I'll put a link in the description for this in case you want to do the same thing. Nice and floppy. Yeah, we'll take this. We're going to go ahead and we'll pull off the cover, the Y-axis way cover, and then mark the holes in here. And then we'll mount it up. Forgot that there's blocks under there. Yeah. These are the mounting blocks that hold the way cover onto the way track. So, note to self when you do this yourself, don't forget to hold on to those. There we go. Didn't drop it that time. Clean those all off. But now we have the cover off. And since it's off, might as well take a look at this. Check the ball screw. Ball screw looks good. I'm looking at now. Actually, I forgot that this panel doesn't come all the way off. There's actually 3 screws up top here. They're Phillips screwdrivers on the back side of this piece. But this part here, actually, we can't sandwich it in there. So what I may end up doing is just having it come over the top and then mount into here, because these, I don't fully trust that not to rip out over the lifespan of this. So out of these small Phillips, not to mention the screws aren't that long, so I'd have to go buy longer screws and all that. So I think I'm just gonna put them right here. I can use the blocks to help get the distances correct on those holes, and then or we'll just line it up with this. And then one thing I did notice too is that 12-inch wide will work for the Z-axis. Okay, this one there's about a half-inch, maybe a little less than half-inch gap across outside here where the covers will be exposed, but I think that'll be okay. So we'll do it for now. If I have issues with it later down the road, I'll just get some wider stuff and swap it out. So now I'll grab this, and then see, I'm just gonna have it go like that, I think, right across the front, and then lay it down that way. So we'll use these 4 holes here as our guides, and then just use a hole punch and punch through it. I'll probably tape this onto there so it doesn't move. There we go. Got those on there. I said those are just finger tight in there for now. We'll go and tighten that back up the rest of the way here in a minute. But now we'll run this up, and I think I'm just gonna do like 3 holes along this back side and use like some machine screws to hold the material into the tray. So I don't really see how, without removing all of this, how to mount it into the back there, and I really have no desire to take that all apart right now. Okay, well, this is just me, I don't know, being tired or not thinking things through, but luckily I figured it out before I started drilling. Some of you probably would have caught that when I was mentioning about tapping into this piece here to mount this, that would actually be a horrible idea, since that's part of the X-axis table, which moves. So if I attach this to this and then you jog X over, for obvious reasons, bad things happen. So I am going to take the pan off. There's just 3 socket heads that I can get to, and then there's 3 small Phillips screws on the back side that holds the rest of the way cover on, and we'll just take this and attach it to that. So this will actually go underneath there. I think that'll work a lot better, especially considering that I can't actually mount to this. So this is why I check things multiple times before you start drilling. Really glad I didn't drill into that and actually attach it. So yep, we're gonna go ahead and take this off, and I'm hoping I can get this off without having to remove my Saunders Machine Works mount, because I really don't want to have to retram that whole thing, but we'll see. Okay, so now you can see what I'm going to attach to. I'm going to pull these 3 screws out here and then sandwich this in between that and that. I'm going to grab compressed air and blow out all the chips from there so we don't drop anything down onto the ways. These screws are actually long enough to be able to handle both the way cover and the neoprene all in one. So I don't think I'll have to get longer ones, so that's nice. And then we'll mark these holes the exact same way we did the other ones. We're just gonna pull the cover around it and then add some marks using the hole punch, and then we'll cut this to size. A straight edge. Doesn't have to be perfect, just pretty close. There we go. And that's not really working. That's another way I could do it is like kind of fold it down underneath this direction. So the screw is going through the top, like right through here. I'll zoom in on this. So I'll have it folded and actually hold it this way. I think I might try that. I think there's enough room in there for it to do that. Some washers. So put a washer on each one of these things, and that should hopefully hold it in place. And that's what it looks like all finished up. So I'm gonna go ahead and slowly jog the machine back, make sure that these blocks down on the bottom are in the correct spot. Just get those lined up, and then we'll see how this kind of folds up and make sure that it's not binding on anything. So I'm moving the y-axis now. There we go. Cool. That looks good. So yeah, I think that'll work out nicely. Just letting all those chips kind of just fall off. So like as you're moving it back and forth, it may kind of self-clearing almost. So I don't know, we'll have to actually run some stuff and see what really happens with it, but I think that'll work out well. So I'm going to tighten up these lower blocks, and then we'll move on to the back side here, see how that goes. So I'm having an issue on these bottom ones. Every time I try to tighten them up, it's actually just stretching this all out and kind of popping the material, the rubber material off the screw. So I'm gonna run to the hardware store, buy some big washers for that, and hopefully that'll hold it in place and allow me to tighten it down a little bit better. So right now it's not very tight at all. So we'll be back. Run to the hardware store and get this part finished up. Okay, so just got back from the hardware store. Ended up picking up these 8mm stainless steel washers. So they fit on nicely to these bolts. So yeah, we'll put these in here, and then I'll show you. I think I'm going to do something completely different for mounting the back side with those Phillips screws. So I'll show you what I do to that after we get this mounted up. Okay, so I just realized something else that I missed before. I haven't been feeling that great. Allergies, so not thinking straight, but I just realized like a way to get this so it's going down the other side. Undo here and then get it from that, going like that. Who knew? So what I'm gonna do for that, rather than doing the washers, is I found this piece. It's a 3-foot long piece of aluminum, 1/2 inch wide by 1/16 of an inch thick. And I think I'm gonna just cut this and then take measurements on where the holes are and put the holes in here, and then that way it has the entire piece going across, and that should really hold it in place well, and it'll make it so the material can't twist while I'm tightening it down. So it's thin enough. I think I can cut it with just like a pair of snips. We'll see how that works, and then just file off the edges so it's not sharp, and then we'll pull off the way cover here, take my measurements, mark the holes out, and then just drill those out by hand. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do now. Alright, so now with that undone like that, I should be able to just take this whole thing, slide it right out like that. There we go, nice. So yeah, and there's way cover off. And then now we'll just measure out these 3 holes. We'll mark them on that piece and then drill those out. We'll measure this out to 1 foot to match the width of the rubber. and we'll go grab some snips and we'll cut that. Nice, that worked out well. Cool. Nice. I like these things. These work out well. I think I got them on Amazon. I don't remember. If I did, I'll put a link. So we're here. I'm just gonna stick this underneath it like that. It actually works out perfectly. Just mark all 3 of them. Cool. Now we'll head over to the drill press and get those drilled. Okay, there we go, all done. Yeah, holes look like they line up nicely. If any don't line up, but so far all these do, then just enlarge the holes slightly, but those all look good. So we'll go back to the machine, put this back in, and then screw it all down. Let's see here, I have the plate, the screw, and then comes through it this way. So then we'll have this bolt into the back into the ways, which I just knocked off. I think this will be easier if there we go, do that. Tighten those all up a little bit. Perfect. So you can see that board, or the piece of metal in there. And it's all bolted in. So should be good. Just fold this back over, put the blocks back here, and bolt this side in. And then that's 1 of 3 done. 2 more to go after. Okay, finally done with that. That's a lot cleaner looking. I like that a lot more than how I had it before. So now let's jog it. Nice. Yeah, that's cool. That'll work out well. Just dumps all the chips right off. That'll make cleanup a lot easier too. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and do the back. Not gonna film it. It's gonna be the exact same way as I just did this front section, or the back section of the front. If that makes any sense. But I'm just gonna turn the camera off. I'll come back and show you guys once it's all done. I'll probably record the Z-axis one just because that's going to be a little bit different. But yeah, we'll do the back and then move on. So I got the back side of the Y-axis done. It's a little dark in here, but so yeah, you can see this one I had to do screws on the outside and have this kind of like tuck underneath and back up like that. Mainly, there's just no way to get the screws if it was the other way around. So this side of it is the hidden screw, kind of like what we did up on the front. But yeah, so that actually went on a little easier than I was expecting, to be honest. This one's pretty tight. Like, it doesn't have a ton of extra play. It's not stretching it by any means. Like, I can still pull it, so that's good. But I think that's good because it actually bunches up nicely and still fits underneath the bottom of the Z here. So yeah, now onto the Z, and I think what I'm going to do on this, I'm not actually even sure how this bottom piece attaches. I haven't found. Oh, I see the screws back underneath there. I don't know if I have enough material to cover the entire thing. I'll have to unwind it and see, but if not, basically I'm just going to attach one here and like sandwich it underneath this and then just hang it. I don't know if I'll even attach the bottom, so we'll see. I'm going to see how much material I have, and yeah, we'll go from there. Yeah, so with the ATC in place, I actually can't get to the bolt on the back side over here. I could, but it is going to be way harder to do than what I think it's actually going to be worth it to cover that. So the main ones that I wanted to get covered were, you know, this the Y-axis, so which I've done. So I think I'm just going to leave the Z as is, and then, you know, maybe later down the road, if I actually mess this thing up and I need to replace it, then I'll go ahead and do the covers on there. Got that all done. Happy with how it came out, actually. We're gonna run some parts on it here shortly and actually see how well this thing really does at keeping the chips out of the original way covers. But I think it's going to work out well. Hopefully it was worth it. Just like pretty much all the projects, it was a little bit more difficult than I thought, and obviously I made a few mistakes. But I think I've figured out the best plan of action on there, and hopefully anybody else who's wanting to do this, you can use this video and avoid what I almost did a couple times. I ended up not putting that cover back on underneath here. Not yet anyway. Off camera I may try to get that back on. But yeah, it's going to be a little difficult, I think, with that Saunders Machine Works plate on there. What I am going to do is we'll finish up this video now, and then I am going to do a little follow-up video after I run a couple parts and kind of see how this all plays out. So yeah, if you haven't already, like, subscribe, helps me out. I'm trying to get to the monetization part. So that requires lots of people to subscribe and lots of people to watch. So hopefully you guys are enjoying these videos. Like I said, I'll do a follow-up and a little while, and we'll see how it goes. Thanks for watching. Bye.